Welcome, Grow Overload. I'm Anthony, and something I wanted to put some comments on, which I'm very disappointed about, is Red Hat now kind of killing anything downstream of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, RHEL. And this is, you know, on some other stuff, you've seen me be very supportive of open source. I love open source software. I think that I think it's a good foundation, and it should be the future for everything, in my opinion. But I also see the results now. If you've seen me some of my other Activision Microsoft videos or buyout videos of how disappointed I am and that they go through, because this is a result of that. I don't think Red Hat would have done this otherwise, but IBM bought them, and well, that was finalized what in 2019. Let's see here. I got this. We'll switch to my article. Let's see. IBM closes landmark acquisition of Red Hat for 34 billion. Defines open and hybrid cloud future. Well, let's get rid of the open part. But July 9th, 2019. You see, IBM also has this. They said a whole bunch of stuff. Don't really care too much because we are now in the future, and it is now 2023. 4 years have gone by since the closing, and look at the next step that IBM is taking. CentOS Stream now is a sole repository for public RHEL and related source code releases. That's disappointing for Red Hat customers. Partners and source code will remain available via the Red Hat customer portal. This doesn't have any changes to CentOS project, CentOS Stream, source availability, source stream, or OS SIG. Why are they doing this? I think that one thing is that this is a normal IBM thing. Going to close walled-off gardens is an IBM thing. Making a software painful to use and making their customers switch to a different platform, I think, is an IBM thing. We've all been there, right? And if you haven't yet, you're young enough to not experience IBM's let's kill off everything that we have. Well, now you're getting to experience that too. IBM is not exactly the customer-friendly company that they make themselves out to be. In my opinion, I've had enough dealings with them in the past, but they do have a lot of products that are used widely still today, this being one of them. And one thing is very disappointing is the direction that IBM is taking, which is let's go more closed, walled off gardens. You have to pay us for anything. And well, as we get more and more down this line, I think enterprises and businesses and anyone that uses Red Hat Linux are going to have to look for alternatives. Now we have a couple alternatives that were downstream from Red Hat Linux, and that was Alma Linux here and Rocky Linux, and we'll go through some of this, but they had a summary here, and another massive shift that impacts rebuilds and forks of Red Hat Enterprise Linux, right? This is what it is not only releasing source code for RPMs behind their customer portal. It's horrible. They should not be doing this. I like to see these fixes go back into the community. I get open source projects have to make money somehow, right? And 34 billion is a lot to make up. This is why probably IBM is doing it. However, in saying all that, when you look at what's kind of some other open source projects, I like to see hey, it's a free product to use. You can use it, give us recognition, and then what you do from there is if you need support, if you need a feature, you contract with us, you pay us, and we will do that for you. I think that is a very good business model on top of everything else. Having a donation, especially if you're a company that uses it a lot, that makes a lot of sense. Now, maybe companies will not be so much to switch off of IBM Linux, but I think that it is something that will happen over time, maybe not in the near time future. Just dealing with some of the other IBM stuff, people need to take a look and be like, hey, this is not aligning with what we're trying to accomplish. It might get harder to use, who knows, And if the price goes up, I think that there's going to be a push as things get tighter in certain departments. We have to look elsewhere to find a different type of software. You know, that's kind of how Linux got taken off anyways in the enterprises. We only have this amount of budget, but we have to support this amount of hardware. And paying for the software does not really help us out when we have all this hardware to support as well. So you get kind of that. And by the way, these other free ones will get more support as people switch off of them. It's just going to take a little while to get all that support out there. The more and more people do it. But you got, you know, Elmo, you know, they are looking for a new solution. I think that, you know, one thing is that they could take and start doing the support themselves, start doing that stuff, and working on it there and creating their own kind of enterprise fork from CentOS Stream if they so wanted to, which is going to take a lot of work, but that is an option. They will, so one of the questions is, will they get security updates? Yes, currently they're going to be part of the OS Stream and the Oracle Linux updates, and these will be carefully curated one-to-one with RHEL, and not violating the RedHat licensing, and they will be vetted and tested just the same. Uh, they they do have people involved about the next steps. Their SIG leaders, their president, all involved with the conversation, members of the community. So this is good. If you're using one of these Linuxes, go do that. You know, when Red Hat did all the changes of how they were changing the, you know, the stream, the pipeline of their products from Fedora to CentOS to RHEL, and removing CentOS from lower than that, they kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. I've been using a lot of different Linuxes since then, and yeah, I still use RHEL in some capacity because just not personally. So that's I've kind of moved on from that. But can you CentOS Stream sources? This is one of their questions. No, because this is a downstream of RHEL, not a downstream of CentOS, and RHEL is a downstream of CentOS Stream, so you want to stay downstream of that. They said, this is a good question, as they can't comment to it, I will comment to it. But is Red Hat trying to kill downstream clones? And they say, we cannot speak to Red Hat's attentions, only bring the point of thing that they said publicly. Here, you can finish reading that, but I will answer my thoughts on this. No, this is not from anybody, but this is just from my experience with IBM. Yes, they are trying to kill any clones. They are. Other experiences, start looking into IBM's future of what they've done. They've killed a lot of stuff that's trying to be clones. So that's kind of IBM's thing. Now we go over to Rocky here, and you know, I actually like these two Linuxes. I haven't used them, but I like what they're trying to do. I followed Rocky when CentOS made the changes, and I think that they're trying to do something. I guess there's a type error someplace here. Let's reload this. There we go. And so here it is. The too long didn't read is, here you go. Red Hat's no longer publishing artifacts to git.centos.org. Rocky uses these sources to build and update the packages. We're interpreting, discussing the message, and working on next steps. Read more for below. There you go. Yeah, here we go. A lot of different things, a lot of different suggestions here. If you have something and you're involved in one of these communities, make sure you reach out. But here we go. Options buy a farm in Nebraska or Montana, raise cattle. Okay. Like this is, that's actually pretty funny. These are just things just to keep in mind when these big companies buy some of these things that we like. Here's for Onyx. I want to add this in there because I really like Michael's writing and support, especially in the Linux community. He does a great job. I checked this out, so go out over there and support him. But yeah, it is disappointing what's going on. The comments of his articles are pretty funny too, because yeah, they just are. Everyone's frustrated, and it's. I like to say that I didn't see this coming, but it's IBM, and I just thought at this point, I don't remember if I did a video on this in 2019, but since 2019 to now, I just thought IBM is going to keep on trying to wall this off, keep trying to get and squeeze every penny out of it until they kind of break it. That seems like IBM's business model is, let's buy something, let's have something that's doing really well, and let's just make it so the user base doesn't like us anymore, and we'll just, since they are stuck with us, we'll just milk them for every single penny they have, and then we'll go from there. And it's unfortunate that this is there, but you see this a lot with different companies buying stuff. I guess the only, in recent memory, the only good big buyout that has happened was Minecraft, right? I'm trying to think any other good ones. I mean, you could pay like $9 billion and then just flush it down the toilet, like Microsoft did for Nokia. Those are some of the more destructive ones, but this is, these are some of the things that happen out of this, and this is very disappointing that a lot of good investment in software or hardware, wherever it is, has been destroyed because of bigger companies buying it out and not keeping on the path because they think that they can do it better after buying them out. And that's what we're seeing. So let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know if you're disappointed just like me, and what your plan is going forward. Hopefully that Alma and Rocky Linux figure out what they can do and to keep on the enterprise side, because I think that there is a huge market for something like this. But I think at the same time, Red Hat Enterprise Linux is, as much as, I get a company paying for support and everything else and wanting that, when you keep going to these more walled-off gardens, what eventually happens is that means I can increase the prices more and more, and the company's going to be moving anyways because they can't afford it. So with that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for taking the time to help support Graveload and help this channel grow. I really do appreciate it. Do all the normal stuff, like, subscribe, share the video, hit that bell icon, and everything else. And until next time, God bless.